and swift.
The stage is set. It started with 6 teams. It saw a lot of rain, a lot of exits, but finally we are here. India and Sri Lanka for the 8th time in the history of the Men's Asia Cup, but the first time since 2010 will contest the Asia Cup final. Welcome to Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPNcricinfo Match Day powered by JBL. It's time to build ahead to the final of the 2023 edition, and delighted to be in the company of Anil Kumble, Robin Uthappa and Farveez Maharoof as we look ahead to an India-Sri Lanka final after quite a while. Let's start by asking, is this the final everyone saw? Farveez, I know you did, so let me ask Anil first. Could you have foreseen an India-Sri Lanka final at the start of this competition?
Not when Afghanistan was chasing their target against Sri Lanka, because I thought Afghanistan would have crossed that line and then qualified. But yes, post that, I thought Sri Lanka, because Sri Lanka really played well against Bangladesh, and they really held India together, almost won that game, and then Pakistan yesterday was something really special.
Robin, you'd say on the evidence of everything we've seen over these 2 weeks, in between all the rain, of course, that the two best teams have made it to the final?
Yeah, certainly. I certainly think that the two best teams have made the finals, and I think just the composure that Sri Lanka have shown, especially the batters. I think Kusal Mendes has stood out head and shoulders above the rest. He's batted exceptionally well. He's absorbed pressure. He's put pressure back on the bowling units that he's played against. Patirana and Theekshana have been the usual suspects for them. You expect them to perform in the absence of Hasaranga. They've been able to do that as well. Dasun Shanaka has come up and got some wickets when he's come to bowl, which has been a plus for Sri Lanka. Hasn't necessarily come off with the bat, but for me, Kusal Mendes and Charit Asalanka, both these guys have looked great, and I think one of the reasons they've gotten this far in the tournament has been on the back of these two.
Farveez, it feels all too familiar from last year, another Asia Cup where almost no one was giving Sri Lanka a chance, and they went the distance. This time too, given all the people missing, given everything around the build-up, what to you has been the most impressive aspect of this run to the final?
It feels the same like last year's Asia Cup, just the opponents is different this time. It's India. I thought Sri Lanka thoroughly deserves to be here with all the issues before the beginning of the tournament, with most of the bowlers being out. How well the stand-in bowlers came in and performed, and also, just Robin just said, the composure shown by the batters have surprised not only me, many of the players in Sri Lanka as well. How well Kusal Mendes, Charit Asalanka, all these players have batted. So I think deservingly Sri Lanka, historically have shown when the chips are down, when everything is going against the team, someone puts their hand up on the day and makes sure that Sri Lanka wins somehow. And as Anil said as well, when Afghanistan were chasing that score, even I had my doubts that Sri Lanka will come in. But post that, beating Bangladesh, beating Pakistan, losing to India in a tight game, come to the final, I think Sri Lanka had a massive morale win in yesterday's game, and all of a sudden they're in a final to face India, which is going to be a huge, huge game.
The earlier contest between India and Sri Lanka, Anil, was the low-scoring thriller in Colombo, bowlers dominating, especially spinners. Where do you think this final could be decided?
I think similar. I mean, if that's the kind of sort of surface that you're looking for, yes, we don't know the fitness of Theekshana, because that will be critical as well from a Sri Lankan perspective. He's a senior spinner, and you would expect him to lead the team, especially if the surface is sort of similar. That was when India played Sri Lanka. So otherwise, I mean, if it's going to be a good surface like how Sri Lanka played Pakistan, then you're sort of giving the advantage to India, more or less. So Sri Lanka, if they need the advantage, then they would prefer that it turns a little bit, and very similar to the one that they played India.
I'll stay on that same point with you, Farveez. Mahesh Theekshana, if he's not playing, how big a miss is that? And if he is to be missing this game, who do you want to see in the 11?
I think the word is that what I heard today is that Mahesh is definitely going to be out. He's having a hamstring strain or hamstring tear. But he'll be a miss because leading into the tournament, he was the number one bowler. And all of a sudden, you're missing out on a number one bowler. And, these plays will be taken by most probably Dushan Hemantha, the leg spinner, who's in the squad. He's more like a bit of Wanindu Hasaranga, but not when it comes to skill set. Not so skilled like Wanindu Hasaranga, but he has a very good control, a decent fielder in the game against Afghanistan. He held on to a brilliant catch, being the 12th man. That would have given him a lot of confidence as well. And late batting order, he can bat at number 9 as well. So I reckon Sri Lanka will be dealt at hugely with Theekshana's absence. But I feel Dushan Hemantha will be up for it, as he has played many games before, and he has played a lot of first class cricket. So hopefully he will put his hands up and grab the opportunity.
Robin, let me come to you with the India selection question. Let's assume KL Rahul, Shreyas Iyer, Ishan Kishan are all available, fit to play. What is India's best batting mix for the middle? Would you say that having the left-hander is imperative given what Velalage did in the previous outing?
Yeah, don't fix something that's not broken. It's brought you success. Ishan Kishan scored runs at number 5. Why change now? And you have Velalage, who's bowling well and has had a lot of success against India in this tournament. So you want something to counter him. So I would stick with Ishan there at number 5 and Rahul at number 4. No questions asked.
Okay, I feel like I know where the answers will go with this, but I'm still going to give it a shot. And let's start with you, Farveez. Can you give us a prediction?
Oh, tough one against two greats by my side. I reckon toss will be a huge factor. It's going to be a massive factor because India will like to bat first. Sri Lanka will be wanting to bat first. And I'll go with the home advantage and the momentum going through as well with the past as well, looking at Asia Cup records. I feel Sri Lanka will scrape through this.
Ooh, Sri Lanka to retain their crown, says Farveez. Robin, are you challenging that prediction?
Yeah, I'm always weary of an underdog, but it's also been a while since India have won an ICC championship. So it's been a decade. So, I really want us to win. So I'm going to say, India's going to win it. But I do agree with Farveez. I think a lot's going to be dependent on that toss.
All right, I will come to you, but also from just the balance perspective, how close a game do you expect this to be?
It will be a close one. Sri Lanka have been really good so far in this tournament, and only India sort of broke that chain of 13 on the trot. So 14th one was when India stopped them. So I think they'll continue to do that. I mean, India, I'm banking India to sort of win against Sri Lanka in the final, but it will be a close game.
Right, so 2-1 on our panel, which you might say was expected, but Farveez will be the first to remind you that last year too, no one was giving Sri Lanka a chance, and well, who goes into the final as defending champions? So we'll see how it plays out. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time. Viewers, be sure to join us for the build-up to this big Asia Cup final. It will begin before the toss on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPNcricinfo Match Day, powered by JBL.
Stunning looks, then swift,